Fatima's sunny spring jubilee. It was a beautiful, bright Sunday morning, and the sun was already warming the world to a perfect 87 degrees. Inside their specialized van, 24-year-old Fatima sat comfortably in her wheelchair, her eyes dancing with anticipation. Her father, Levent, the school's CEO, sat beside her, checking his watch with a grin. They were both wearing matching purple Young Scholars of Central PA shirts, ready for the big spring jubilee ahead. When they arrived at the school grounds, the spring jubilee was already in full swing. The air smelled like popcorn and blooming flowers. Fatima's mother, Gulsen, pushed Fatima's wheelchair along the paved path, her own purple shirt matching the sea of scholars and families. Fatima hummed a happy tune, her way of telling everyone how much she loved the vibrant energy of the crowd. The Spring Jubilee was a playground of wonder. To one side, a giant blue and yellow bounce house wobbled as children leaped inside. Nearby, a group of students stood in line for face painting. Fatima watched a young girl get a bright butterfly painted on her cheek. Though Fatima was nonverbal, her wide smile and the way she kicked her feet slightly showed everyone exactly how much fun she was having. "Look, Fatima, there goes the teacher!" Levent cheered as they reached the dunk tank. With a loud splash, a volunteer teacher hit the water, sending a spray of cool droplets into the air. Fatima let out a delighted squeal, her shoulders shaking with silent laughter. Levent leaned down to wipe a stray drop of water from Fatima's forehead, sharing in her infectious joy. As they moved toward the food area, Fatima's eyes grew even wider. She saw a line of brilliantly colored trucks parked in a row, red, lime green, and bright pink. To Fatima, they didn't look like kitchens. They looked like the most amazing carnival rides she had ever seen. She pointed with her eyes toward a bright yellow truck, her expression full of wonder and curiosity. Gulsen laughed softly as she realized what Fatima was thinking. "Those are for yummy treats, honey, not for riding," she explained. They rolled over to a particularly special truck that was decorated with giant translucent bubbles. It was the bubble tea truck. Gulsen stepped up to the window to order, the vendor greeting her with a friendly wave and a bright smile. A few minutes later, Levent returned with 3 tall, frosty cups of lemonade bubble tea. The yellow liquid sparkled in the sun, and the dark tapioca pearls sat at the bottom like little treasures. He held a straw for Fatima so she could take a refreshing sip. The tart lemon and sweet bubbles were the perfect treat for such a warm, sunny afternoon. The family sat together in the shade of a large oak tree, watching the Spring Jubilee continue around them. People of all ages and abilities were laughing and playing together. It was a day where everyone felt included and celebrated. Gulsen reached over and squeezed Fatima's hand, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for their community and the love that filled the air. As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting long, golden shadows, the family made their way back to the van. The excitement of the day had finally caught up with them. Fatima's head rested gently against her headrest, her eyelids heavy. She was tired, but the happy glow on her face remained as Levent carefully secured her chair for the ride home. When they finally walked through their front door, they were greeted by a familiar sight. Figaro, their gray-brown tabby cat, was stretched out on the gray sofa, looking very unimpressed by their long absence. Fatima's eyes lit up one last time as Figaro let out a welcoming meow. They were home, exhausted and sun-kissed, but their hearts were full after the most wonderful spring jubilee.